Okay, so one thing we can do now, we have it all laid out the way we wanted to. But we can go down here in the timeline area. You can see there's seconds from 0 to 20. I think we're going to make this just like a 4-second animation. It's not going to be very long. So I don't normally do this. I usually just click on either the beginning or end of things. So let's just find out what's what. So I think if I click on this, okay, so this is the hiking and we can double click on the layer. So this will be like background image. Save that. Which one is this? Oh, this is the mountain graphic. Sometimes if you click it and move it down, it'll disappear because you're moving it away from the actual timeline, which is this gray bar. But we can move it back over and we can name this mountains. Save that. And then this is the logo. So we'll double click, logo, save. So this is hike, probably the hike text. In Beaver Creek, hiking, biking. So we can kind of tell this is the actual button here, more info. So we kind of know what all of our layers are now. So one thing I'm gonna try, the mountains and the logo, I kind of want them to bounce up. So we'll go here on the beginning and do a, let's see, bounce up. And I want this to bounce up too, because they're kind of going to be sort of a unit. So if we preview this now, you can see it bounces up. Everything comes in at the same time on the timeline, you can see, but we're going to change that in a minute. Okay, next up we're going to kind of animate the timeline. Since these are in separate text boxes, I was kind of thinking the hike could come in a little bit after the, maybe like half a second or so, and then it could, let's see, what are we going to do with that? Fade up. So I'm going to go ahead and do a fade up on hike. If you do fade up here, oops, I double clicked on it accidentally. Fade up. And then in Beaver Creek's going to come in after hike, so I have to move it past that in the timeline. Probably not a ton past it, maybe just a little bit, and we'll have that maybe fade down or fade left maybe. So let's preview this. Great. And then I want the other stuff to come in later. Oh, and it actually, let's also keep this at 4 seconds. So we just need to move this until we get this little arrow, and you can actually move them in. And so let's preview that again. Now everything is ending at 4 seconds, which is great. So next up, let's animate this text. This can come in after in Beaver Creek Park. So let's just kind of move it to where it's still at 4 seconds, move it past, and then we can just have it maybe fade. Maybe just fade. And then this could come in at the same time, still make it 4 seconds, and we can have this fade in too. And more info can do the same thing. So all of this stuff can kind of come in at the same time. Oops. Fade in. I think I'm doing this a little bit different than the first one, but that's okay. More info, and this SVG is actually the button here. Okay, so let's do all fades. And so let's look at the preview. Yeah, everything just kind of faded in. It's pretty simple. I'm not asking for you guys to do a lot, but I do want you guys to like experiment with some of the timing on things. So things need to be kind of staggered and come in at different times. And then I want you to experiment with, you know, different animations. You can also do ending animations if you want, but definitely you don't always have to just use fade too. You can use some of these bounce. The bounce is kind of cool. So yeah, let's preview that again. Yeah, that looks pretty good. It's not the same as my other one. If we preview this one's a little bit different. Let's see, I just have it on bounce. I wonder if I had it on bounce. Oh, I have bounce up. I just want it on bounce. That's how they're different. Okay, well, yeah, that's better. Okay, that's looking pretty good. I think I need to move this over just a little bit. But okay, so this is basically, you know, where we're at. So we have the animation, it's 4 seconds long. You can change it to playing once, play twice, 3 times, 4, 5, or play always. I'm just going to leave mine on play always. You can change yours to whatever you want. And then if we go to settings, you know, we have it named, here's the size, but make sure you put a link in here so that it links to something online. It doesn't really matter, you know, maybe it could, you know, go to the home page of your company that you're doing. That would make sense. Or if you find a specific page that you want it to link to that you think makes sense, that would be great too. So once you get it looking the way you want it to, it has some animation in there. It's looking relatively professional. We can actually publish this. So you push this publish button and you can get the share link. And this is what I'm wanting. Now, if we paid for this, we could download, you know, we could get an MP4, we could get a GIF to embed on a website. The HTML5 code is great too, but I just want the share link. So you copy this, and this is what you would provide to me in Brightspace for a grade. So if I actually paste this share link in, we can look at it. It might take a little bit for it to load. Here we go. So there it is. And it keeps playing because we put it on always play. So, so this is what I'm wanting from you for a grade. So follow along in the with a demo on Wednesday. And then we'll actually have you design a couple of your own ads in a few different sizes.